Up, you guys? I hope everybody is well. Hope you are staying safe and healthy. We are back with um, something I haven't done since shit, I don't know when, but a staple of my rotation of vlog series, the um, wrestling Powerbomb. Now, for those of you that haven't seen these before, basically power bombs are specifically for wrestling and wrestling talk and wrestling commentary. I usually do them for every pay-per-view, um, but I haven't done that because I don't, um, you know, I feel like when I do them for every uh, pay-per-view, I miss something just sitting there as a fan. And watching it once for purposes of a powerbomb and once for purposes of a fan just is a little bit too much even for me. So I kind of stopped doing them for a while, and then everything hit with the pandemic and everything got shut down. So um, there really weren't any powerbomb worthy um, happenings in the business. Um, but we're back for Wrestlemania 37, night number 1. This is going to be a little bit different of a power bomb because I didn't actually take notes. I watched as a fan um, and didn't intentionally take notes because that would have distracted me um, from stuff here. And I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to hit into my own mind what I thought the highlights were from night 1. And um, just so you guys know, I'm going to work the same way for night 2 tomorrow night. Um, so yeah, sit back, enjoy, and let your boy work the rest off. Crank this up just a little bit. I don't know, because I can't hear myself, so I don't know if anybody can hear me or not. So I'm gonna just crank that up a little bit. All right, there we go. So we started, of course, with everybody on the stage and Vince McMahon coming out, welcoming everybody back to live WWE entertainment, and specifically to WrestleMania. Um, Last time that he actually did welcome WrestleMania was WrestleMania 3, the big Hulk Andre match. But it was nice to see um, him and the superstars out on the stage um, for the welcome to WrestleMania and for the national anthem. After the anthem, there was a 30-minute delay caused by inclement weather, and that's the risk you run when you run an outside show. Um, you can predict a lot of things, you can plan for a lot of things, but one thing you can't predict or plan for is the weather. So you kind of run this risk whenever you're doing a show in an outdoor venue. And so that kind of delayed the actual start of the action for 30 minutes, but I thought the filler was very well done. They used interviews and they ran some angles to kill the time, of course, and basically, got with a bunch of the guys and girls and asked them what it was like to have fans back in attendance. So that was really well done. I don't have any complaint about that. First match right out of the gate was Lashley and Drew McIntyre for the WWE title, or the Universal title, I think. No, that was the WWE title. The Universal is the red one, or the blue one, I'm sorry, for SmackDown that Reigns has. So, um, you know, I like this match, you know, basically because, it was the first match in front of fans. Fans basically treated them both like they were baby faces, even though Lashley's the heel and Drew's the baby face. Um, you know, it was still cool to see and, liven the energy, and I think it made everybody work a little bit harder. But I didn't have any um, complaints about the way this match ended, even though I thought for sure, and everybody thought for sure, Drew was going to win and have his moment in front of fans, because that's kind of what they've been preaching for the last year. But they threw us a curveball, and Lashley retained, and not only did he retain, he did it clean in the middle of the ring. There was no interference. People can say, yeah, there's a slight MVP distraction at the finish, but he physically didn't do anything that would have ended the match anyway, so I don't count that as type of interference. So to me, that was a clean finish. That was an unexpected clean finish, and they get props for that. And yep. So that's my thoughts there. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the show-stealing performance of one Bad Bunny. He is only one of two, maybe three celebrities I would like to see actually do this semi-full-time, because dude has an it factor that can't be denied. He takes this shit serious, and it showed out there. He did not have to be carried by anybody. He carried his weight, and then there were three of the best going today, and he could, so if he would have had some shortcomings and, needed a little bit of carrying, that wouldn't have been an issue. I still wouldn't have complained, just because of the three that he was in there with. But he did really well, and you could tell he took this serious. You could tell he's been training to do his best, the best he could have done, and he did just that, and I applaud him for that. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest beat The Miz and Morrison, which, yeah, was predictable, but I didn't mind it because Bad Bunny is just so good at what he was able to do in this little bit of short time that he's been training. I do look at SummerSlam for Bunny and Miz to go one-on-one, and to be honest with you guys, I am okay with that. Bunny can hold his own, Miz wouldn't have to carry him, and I would actually like to see them go one-on-one. Bunny actually did really, really well. Miz and Morrison shined him up real nice, and then he basically played the babyface in peril for about 5 minutes, and then got the hot tag to Priest, and Priest cleaned house, and in the comeback spot, he hit a destroyer that would have made Petey Williams proud. And he hit, and his moves were fluid. It wasn't clunky, he wasn't slow. You wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't know already that he is not a full-time wrestler. It was that good. Glad to see it. Hope we get to see more of him. I'm only going to cover this because I've seen it on social media since the end of the show. People shit on the women's tag team turmoil match, which involved the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, Natalya and Tamina, the Riot Squad, and Carmella and Billie Kay. You can shit on that all you want. It served its purpose. It got challengers for Shayna and Nia for tomorrow in the form of Tamina and Natalya. I thought it was awesome that when they were going into the finish, Natalya had, I believe it was Carmella, might have been, it was Billie Kay, and had her legs up like this, ready to step through for the sharpshooter, and looked over Tamina and thought better of it and tagged her in, and Tamina hit the super splash at Mania to get them the win and the title shot tomorrow. That was really, really selfless, and I can't say enough. I don't like Natalya, her character, because I feel like it's unoriginal and she steals everybody's shit, but to be that aware in that moment and hand the finish to somebody who has been start, stop, because of injury for the majority of her career was really classy, really well done, and I appreciate it, and I call a spade, and I'll give her proper where it's due. And I'm actually looking forward to the Nia and Shayna, Tamina and Natalya match, because that should be gangbusters, because Shayna can work, Natalya can work, Tamina can work now that she's healthy, so they just need to limit Nia's involvement, and it should be okay. But I still want to see it, and can't wait for it. The other couple other things I want to talk about, and then I'm going to give a commentary, something that me and a friend were talking about earlier. The Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman cage match was really well done. This was the only match of the night where there was obvious interference, and I didn't mind because it fit the story they were trying to tell, and so I was able to overlook that because it fit the story they were trying to tell, and the interference itself was really, really, really well executed. Props to Jack Riker and Elias for being able to execute those spots, and props to Shane for not playing the chicken shit heel at the start, because he knew that he had that plan in his head that they were supposed to come out and, do the interference bit. And then through the match, they told a really good story. Shane did a real nice job of working on the leg injuries that were caused by the early interference by Riker and Elias. And Braun sold it well, and it was just awesome. But once Braun made his comeback, there was nothing Shane could do. Shane was done for. At one point, Shane tried to get out of the cage to win the match because that was the only way he could win. It was pinfall, submission, or escape. And Shane, at one point, was trying to get out of the cage. Braun Strowman, Monster Among Men, Man-Child, ripped the cage apart and drug that motherfucker back into the ring and then pulled him, then went up to the top of the cage and chokeslammed him from the top of the cage, which was about 15, 18 feet up in the air, from the top of the cage back into the ring, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. Braun wins. It was good. I have no complaints because Shane can work with anybody. The kid is fearless, 51 years old. Still do what he does and do his Shane McMahon shit. So it was pretty good. It was pretty awesome to see that. Especially when he used his acrobatic skills to help with the finish. And it gave Braun a WrestleMania moment of sorts. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the obvious. Bianca Belair and Sasha, which were really, really good. Glad that he got the main event spot. The story they were telling on the lead up and all through the match was just awesome. But it was structured in a way that nobody had an advantage for too long. Sasha would get rolling, Bianca would cut her off. Bianca would get rolling, Sasha would cut her off. But, and it all kind of led to Sasha trying to, hit the bank statement using Bianca's big ass braid to choke her out from the bank statement, and the referee wouldn't answer because she was using Bianca's braid, and basically, did the 5 count to tell her to release it, and that's good repping because you're not supposed to do that. Generally, and Bianca sold not being able to put Sasha away at a few points in this match really, really well. She sold shock over Sasha kicking out of a 450, which was just really, really well done. It's probably one of the best false finishes of the night, and I thought that that did a good job of sowing at least a little bit of doubt inside Bianca's head, but that's good because it helps to tell the story. But after that, they went into the finish and they did a few reversals, and then as much as I don't like Bianca's stupid braid thing that she wears all the time, series of reversals, and Bianca just walloped Sasha with her braid, and literally Sasha sold it like she was fucking just creamed. And then Bianca picked her up and hit the kiss of death, and 1, 2, 3, and night 1 ends with the babyface triumphant, which is awesome, which is what everybody in the mama wanted to see. Um, and it was a very good first night. Everybody did well. There's nothing I can complain about. Even the matches I didn't go through here um, were great. I just wanted to hit some of the highlights to me for night one. And then, before I get here, I'm going to just address something that I was talking about with a friend of mine earlier. And this is no way a slight to anybody. You know, I understand that not everybody is like me. I understand most people can't sit through 4.5 hours of one show and be there at the end. I understand that, that kind of tires people out because there's so much there. I've often said that that's one of WWE's shortcomings when it comes to pay-per-views. They're probably a little bit too long. And most people aren't me. They can't make it through a 4 hour and 15 minutes, 4.5 hour pay-per-view. In this case, I think that was aided by the delay. I think it was supposed to go right at 4 hours, the show, and the weather delay extended it out another 15 minutes, but it ended up actually only 4 hours and 15 minutes. And I say that because Dave Meltzer, who writes a bullshit newsletter about about wrestling and stuff like that, thinks he knows everything, was reporting on fucking Thursday that the show was only going to be 3 hours. This again, and I told this same friend, I said it's my same friend, this is true. You shouldn't listen to Dave fucking Meltzer. He said it was going to be 3 hours. Bank on it. It ended up being, with the delay, 4:15. The delay hadn't have been there, it probably would have been right at 4 hours. So either way, fuck you, Dave. You don't know shit. Anyway, that's my basic thoughts for night one. I will do another one of these tomorrow night for night number 2. And there is a lot more set for night 2. So I probably will have to make some notes for night 2. So, because there's so much there. But I enjoyed getting back to doing this. I hope you all, if you watched Mania, enjoyed it. I hope you didn't watch Mania, that I was able to hit some of the highlights for you and give you a good indication of what went down. I know I missed some things that were, because everything was good. Nothing was bad, as some people on the internet would have you think. But I just covered the highlights. Tomorrow, again, like I said, I'm probably going to have to do notes and stuff because there's so much more planned for tomorrow. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for fostering. Thanks for allowing me to do what I do. And thanks for, sticking with me. I love y'all. We'll be back later. Peace out. And it's good to have wrestling back. Fans can enjoy it live. Peace. Love y'all.